here from pickinglessons.com, Banks of the Ohio. This is a great song. We're in the key of G. This is a nice beginner arrangement that focuses on a bit of Scruggs, some nice rolling around the chords, and a little bit of melodic to capture the melody as well. In a moment, we're going to take a look at the first half of the arrangement here in this video, but if you head over to pickinglessons.com, you can grab yourself a copy of the tablature in the member section there. We'll continue this lesson and break down the remainder of the break, and you'll have some play along and backing tracks there once you do get to know it as well. Now, we're in the key of G, standard tuning. We are using some Scruggsy licks. We are using some nice straightforward rolling and some interesting moments with the D chord I want to chat about as well, which is really nice. And a little bit of melodic to capture the melody as we go through too. So we do certainly have the melody featuring heavily within this arrangement. Let's have a bit of a look and we'll break it down as we go through. So this pickup for a start, it falls on the 1 and as we begin. So it's 1 and 2, 3, 4. So for us to play that, basically we're going to use our index and middle fingers there to play the two open strings, the G and the D. Then our thumb will take over from there. So it's 1 and 2, 3, 4 into the first measure. A nice straightforward little forward roll. That takes us to beat 1 of the second measure. Let's try that again. We have this slide in there. As we play this A into the B, the melody is the B note. And we're using the A as a passing note to get up to the B. So we have the A sliding to the B. As we land on that 4th fret, the B note, we're also picking the open B. So we have 1 and before we continue on into the forward roll. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Try it again. Ready and. That thumb continues on the second half of that first beat before we have this nice little grace note pull off back into the A note. And in the second measure, we have a passing note. So we've got some blue notes that are happening through here, and that G sharp is certainly outside the key signature, and it's a passing note to get into the next melody note in measure 3. So in measure 2, there's our first 3 notes we need to play. We have that open string, thumb on the open string, and then our second and first fingers there, and we're going to pick that 3rd string and pull off, flick that 2nd finger quite quickly, so it's a grace note, it's a quick one, as we get into that A note before we then play the open D on the second half of that beat. Let's try the first half of that second measure. Ready and. A little bit slower. Ready and 1 and 2 and. So quick pull off. Now as we move through, bringing in some melody, movement into that melody note. So from the G into the A with the passing note. So 3 and 4 and 1 and into the D. So just to highlight the basic melody for a moment. Up to that A. So listen out for that during this movement through the rolling. Yeah, so it's a nice way of, we're really embellishing around the melody with this rolling and some passing notes through there. But we're certainly capturing that melody as well. Right. The 3rd measure along, so those first 2 measures are over G. The next 4 measures are over the D chord, and just chatting about what we're going to do here. Firstly, let's have a look at what's happening in this 3rd measure. So we're going to build the partial D chord here. We've got the A, we've got the D, we're going to use the open D. We're also going to use the open low D. We're going to avoid string 5, so we're going to leave out the G, and that's something to think about when we're rolling over this D chord, that you can leave the G out because it's not a strong note within the chord. Now there are some D licks and whatnot that you might play that feature that G as well. But this, we're hanging on this D chord for the next 4 measures and we're really going to avoid that G. So this first roll we have over this D position, bit of a forward roll into a backward roll. Try that again. Ready and. And we continue to hold that shape as we progress into measure 4. and we have a couple of melody notes in there to get us up into the next transition in measure 5. So the first 2 bars of D, so measures 3 and 4, ready, and... So there's a big space between the melody, and we're just rolling around the D chord, and that's what we're really trying to feature there. Melody there on the end. Now as we move into measure 5, we're going to play this D7th position. And so this version of D7 has the C at fret 5, we've got the D at fret 3 with our first finger, open D and low open D as well. Once we're here, so the C is the melody note, but then we're just rolling around the chord. So there's measure 5. So forward rolled. Measure 6, we hold that position, but we reverse that. So backward roll. Then the open B acts as a passing note. This is a little melodic. What we get there on the end here is that C, B, A. So nice movement of the melody there. So measure 6, it's a backward roll into a little melodic passage. Let's listen to all these D measures. So we're going to go from measure 3 through to the end of measure 6. Ready, and... And then tying this into the 7th and 8th measures of G. We're really just playing a nice old Scruggsy lick in there. So that slide, again, from A into B, reinforcing the B note with the open string as we reach that slide. So 1 and 2 and 3 and grace note, pull off, open G and snap. So very straightforward Scruggsy roll. So supporting the D chord, I think is really nice there, and we're avoiding the G, not clouding the harmony of the D chord by playing the G. And even though there are D licks, and later on, certainly D licks later in this arrangement where we do play that open 5th string G, here I've avoided it, and we're just supporting the notes within the chord. So over the D. Now, that's our first half of this arrangement. If you head over to pickinlessons.com, we're going to continue this lesson in the member section there. We'll keep breaking down, featuring where that melody is, and then how we're sort of supporting that melody with some rolling and other moments in there as well. You can just grab the tablature while you're there, so pickinlessons.com. I'll see you there.